What's going on, traders? This video is going to be a weekly analysis, the supply and demand zones that I'm watching on the daily chart. I plan on doing a weekly analysis every Sunday, maybe Saturday, depending on my schedule, so stay tuned for that. So yeah, I'm just going to be going over the supply and demand zones that I'm watching using the daily time frame. So I'm just going to be going through my whole watch list here. So I got the Aussie US dollar here. Some decent supply right up here. As for demand, we have this. I'm not a big fan of that demand zone though, because of this wick. It's really, the basing is pretty big. So, but you know, I'm not going to be selling down here, right? If anything, I'm going to be looking for buys. So yeah, that's all. That's what I see with Aussie US dollar. On the Aussie Canadian. See a pretty decent supply zone right here. And as for demand, you have this zone right here. It's kind of hard to find, but yeah, price is reacting off there right now. I'm not a huge fan of that either, but I mean, maybe I would go down and do a smaller time frame and check that out for sure. Aussie Swiss here. I'm not a big fan of this at all. As for demand, supply, you have a drop-based drop supply zone right there, and you have some more supply right here. So I'd be watching out for those supply zones. I'd be looking for shorting opportunities in there. And guys, by the way, this doesn't mean I'm just going to be taking each zone I'm going to be buying or selling right at the zone. I'm not placing an order. I'm looking for confirmation and stuff too. So if you don't know what confirmation is, I have a video about confirmation on my channel, so check that out. So yeah, that's what I see with Aussie Swiss. For demand, I'm sure I'm not even going to talk about it because it's pretty far down there, I'm sure, if anything. So Aussie Japanese. Price is reacting off that, but kind of all started right here. That's the supply that I would be marking out. Demand, I'm not a big fan of that demand either. Yeah, that's what I see for that. Aussie New Zealand, have supply right up here. It was tested with this wick back in, so I'm not really a huge fan of it, but I'll draw it out anyways. Yeah, a lot of these charts, guys, have just been pretty meh. So, but as for demand, I'll be marking that out. I don't even like that much, but you know, smaller time frame, I might be checking that out. So the Canadian Japanese yen supply here. Which is kind of just a reaction off of this here. That would probably look better on a smaller time frame. Maybe a 4 hour. Yeah, nice 4 hour. And actually this reacted off the 4 hour very nicely multiple times, if you see that there. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's the 4 hour there, reacted off that quite nicely. And that 4 hour is obviously within this one candle supply zone here. So that's what I see there. There's obviously some supply right up here as well. As for demand, I mean, this is pretty big, but that's what it's reacting off right now anyways. Like, nothing I would really consider seriously or anything, but yeah, that's what I see in the Canadian Japanese yen. Now the Swiss Japanese, I'm going to start using this tool. See that supply right up there. As for demand, I don't really see anything I like till there. And as far as a basing goes, like I really like this zone. because it took out this high up here. But I mean, it's already tested, so I don't really, not really a huge fan of it anymore. But that's what I'd be looking at if price is sitting right here, which it is. This is what I'd be looking at right there. So, all right, now for the big player, Euro USD for demand. I'm looking right there. I don't know if that's a reaction off of demand zone before. I have to see. We'll see. Well, this is a good test right here. We'll see how it reacted. And maybe this whole. This would probably look better on the weekly. I'm gonna draw that like that for now. Price reaction off that, pretty nice. So it broke through that one. Price broke through that. So it looks like it was trying to react off this one, this big one that I drew, which is probably looks better on the weekly, but so we can look at it. Yeah, so this is a weekly zone. Price came down, barely touched the weekly zone, but see how I was on the daily, but I can kind of tell that it was a weekly zone just based on how I can just tell based on how price looked. Like this is the start of this big move, and there's not really good basing here, and there's kind of two zones, one right there and one right there. So yeah. Anyways, that's Euro USD. Oh, as far as supply, price is reacting off this supply zone here. And yeah, it's reacting off that right now. So be looking for buying opportunities down in here. Euro Aussie. Demand. See some demand right there. Price is reacting off this. I would never really consider this serious demand. Maybe even on a lower time frame, these wicks or something. I'm not going to go down and check, but it's reacting off that. I'm gonna delete that right now. So, and then demand right here. So I'd be looking for that. As far as supply, yeah, it's probably not up there for a while. So, Euro Canadian. Kind of looks not that similar, but same idea right there. And then at the extreme right there, obviously I like the extreme better. As far as supply goes, kind of a level on top of level right here, but we can draw this. Oh, my bad. You can make this all one big zone. It's a pretty big zone, but it's a level. There's a drop right there and a drop right there. And this did take, no, it didn't take out this low on this wick yet. So, not a huge fan of it, but I would be maybe looking for shorting opportunities in there. I'm definitely not going to be buying in there, that's for sure. I'd be looking to buy down here somewhere. Or better yet, down here. Now the Euro Swiss price, it's the only supply that I see. It's not the best, but it's what I see. And demand, you got some demand right here as well. So price is kind of stuck in between here, the supply and demand right here. Euro pound, got some demand. This probably looks, I want to see how this looks in the weekly. See how there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles. So I want to see how that looks like on a weekly. Yeah, so that's kind of, you can kind of draw that on the weekly, and then you can redefine that on the daily if you were doing an even higher time frame analysis. For now, I'm gonna draw that like that because price has kind of tried to react off of that already. So that's what I see for demand. As for supply, I mean, I don't even really like any of this at all, but something to watch out for. Nothing that I would even draw. Like, I would not even, I guess I'd be looking for shorting opportunities up there, but there's just not really a good zone to be drawn out. Euro JPY, supply right there, not a big fan. This wick came all the way down there and up there, and then it dropped, so I'm not a big fan of that. As for demand, this demand was broken there. So for demand, I'd be drawing that, and look how nicely prices reacted off of that multiple times. So that's what I'd have drawn out. I personally like to leave that as tested. I like to leave the demand zone out. If price comes down to here and the level looks really, really nice, then I will take a trade if it's confirmation. If it's been tested before, it must have confirmation. So yeah, that's what I see for the Euro Yen. Euro New Zealand for demand. Got that. As for supply, I mean, you got nothing past this wick, right? So I'm not even going to bother looking at that. Pound USD, pretty nice supply zone right here. I like that supply zone. Looks like we might be creating some more supply right here. As for demand, I'd be drawing that out like that. Yeah, that's what I see for the pound USD. Pound Aussie, got decent demand right there. Price kind of reacted off it already. As for supply, probably gonna be the same. No, yeah, nothing. Maybe we'll get a push down right here and get a decent supply zone going. Pound Canadian. This is a pretty big zone, but I would draw it anyways, because as you can see, price reacted off of it pretty nicely. So you go into the smaller time frame there and try to find a zone within there for confirmation. As for demand at the extreme, that's what I have there. There is a rally demand zone right there, but it's not the best. I'm looking at the extremes. So as for demand, have that there. Remember that this is kind of like that other one. If you're still watching from before on the weekly, I'm sure that looks good on the weekly. Yeah, look at that drop, base, rally, like that. It's not a bad zone. Took out the supply, took out this drop, base, drop, supply zone. So yeah, that's something I look out for when there's kind of a zone and then like the kind of reaction off a zone from before. I always look on a bigger time frame. The pound Swiss. That's a pretty big zone, but that's what I would draw for supply. And as for demand, you don't have anything for a while. I mean, you can just have this on your chart. I would not really be calling that great demand, but I would be having it in a chart and just at least a good range, right? Like I don't want to be buying up here, and I don't want to be shorting down here. So the pound Japanese yen, got your supply right there, which price is reacting off of right now. For demand, looks kind of the same. Nothing I'm super in love with. But like I said, you can draw that out. Or what I like to do in some of these situations like that is look at the weekly. I'll go to a higher time frame. Price just broke this weekly. Nice demand zone right there. So New Zealand US dollar. You have a big zone here, but I mark it anyways. Not a fan of it. As for supply, you have this very wicky supply zone, drop base, drop supply zone, and you're gonna have a little bit of demand in here in a smaller time frame. You got some more supply up here, but that's what I see. So a lot of these pairs, as you can see, are gonna be stuck in between demand and supply for quite a while. Maybe not that long. I'm sure it's gonna break soon. So New Zealand, Swiss. Price is reacting right now off that supply. I don't even like it. I mean, there's a bunch of zones here. There. Demand, it's terrible. Maybe in a smaller time frame, I'm sure there's something on the 4-hour down there. Maybe it depends on how fast it came down, but New Zealand CAD, some decent zones here. Supply zone there. You got a demand zone right there. Prices reacted off that. There's a drop-based drop supply zone right there. It's kind of hidden. Not the greatest. It's very tested as well. But I'd look out for that. New Zealand, Japanese yen. Oh, my bad. You got very poor quality. Supply zone right there. But that's what I see. As for demand, I don't even like any of that. I'm not even gonna bother. Like, I'm not gonna be buying that anything for. Maybe next week we'll be down here and will be something to look at. But USD CAD. Got a pretty nice demand zone there. Nice strong move away. As for supply, you have supply zone right there. Decent drop there. I don't mind that at all. And you do have some demand here as well. And there's a nice probably hidden zone in here as well. So I would almost actually draw that out like that. Go to the weekly. Yeah. So USD Swiss. Price reacted off this rally-based rally demand zone. It's a pretty big zone, but it's a couple. There's another rally-based rally there. As for supply, that's what I see for supply. Another range. US dollar, Japanese yen. Supply zone that it's reacting off right now. As for demand, yeah. I guess there's that. Not the best. This is reacting off this right here. This little demand zone right here. So maybe I'd be looking for buys in there. I just don't really like it. I'm more looking for opportunities up here or down in here. So, and the last pair, US dollar, Singapore. You have a level right here for supply. And you have another one up here, so I would even draw that like that. Look on the weekly. Nothing really formed yet. Demand, that's what I would draw for. That's what I'd be drawing for supply. So be looking for shorting opportunities up here. As for demand, I'd really want to be buying down here. That'd be great. Would really like for price to get down there. That'd be awesome. And this is the range I see for now. So all right, guys, thanks for watching. If you made it this far, if you did, let me know. That'd be cool to hear. If anyone, leave a comment down below. Just let me know you made it this far. I think that'd be funny to hear. Because I don't know if anybody's gonna watch this. So if you did and it helps, I hope it helps. And stay tuned. I'm gonna try to release another one next week, next Sunday. So thanks for watching.